Hi, Karina.
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. It's so good to see your face and put a face to a name, or a voice, rather.
I know. I have to say, when I mentioned your name to friends, they were like, "Oh my gosh, I love Abril." So I'm so shocked we haven't met, but you have a lot of
That's
people
so
that love you out
sweet.
there.
I feel the same way about you. Everyone is so excited that you're going to be on here and to
Thank
hear what you have to say, especially because when it has to do with health, wellness, or beauty, everybody loves a guru, obviously.
you. Well, thanks for having me. I was excited when you reached out. So
Of
it's kind of,
course.
I'm in my closet. I'm hiding. It's dinner time here. The kids are downstairs. Dad is taking care of them. So this is kind of a nice little break.
That is so nice. You know, it's really funny because I've noticed that every guest I've had on that has children, they've all been hiding in their closets, and everyone has an amazing closet. How does everybody have such an awesome closet?
I mean, you kind of have to if you're going to do like city living. I mean, once upon a time, there used to be tons of events to go to. So hopefully we'll get there again so we can actually use what's in our closet.
I know. So everybody, thank you for joining us. I'm going to give everyone like one more minute to get started before we launch into the full conversation. But if you have any questions for Karina throughout the session, feel free to leave them in the comments, and we will get to them as we get to the Q&A at the end.
Perfect.
So it seems like people are starting to log on. So I am Ariel Ginsberg. I am the host of In the Pit with Peach, and it's a show that I brought together to inspire people, let people feel a little bit less isolated right now, and make an approachable show where people could talk to other fabulous people and kind of hear what they have to say in their field of expertise. So I have with me Karina, and she is the founder of the Karina Method. She is an integrative nutritionist, a celebrity health coach, and you may have seen her on channels like E News. She's been on Pop Sugar, ABC. So you've definitely seen her out there. If you have not, you've definitely heard her name. So Karina, how are you? Where are you? Where are you quarantined right now?
So we're in Chicago. My husband and three kids. I have 9, 7, and 5-year-olds. So we're quarantining, in Chicago. Finally, the weather's nice, so we're outside as much as possible. But yeah, suddenly, everything's a little bit closed corners.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And I know that you typically don't drink, and you are joining me for a drink tonight, so I feel very honored about that. So
Yes.
tell me
People
what
that
you were
know
drinking.
me know I do not usually drink a lot. I will order something and take a couple sips. But my drink of choice, if I am going to order, is tequila with just fresh lime squeezed in. So,
Well, looks like we're
cheers.
twins tonight. Do you have a go-to toast?
I mean, I don't. I always let somebody else toast. So you go for it.
Okay. Here is to new friends staying safe and staying sane while in quarantine.
Amen. Cheers.
Cheers. So I know that you said you don't drink very often, but when you do drink, has your idea of the appropriate time to start drinking changed since you've been in quarantine?
No, I'm kind of one of those weird people. I still am keeping to all of my regimented habits, but my husband makes up for it. I mean, he's just enjoying, like, he loves wines, and I mean, I appreciate all my friends and family that need that drink at 5 or 4 or 3 to get them through it. But no, for me, it's a couple steps, and I have my other ways of kind of finding that zen.
Okay. And I'm excited to get to that later on when we talk a little bit more about self-care. But you are a nutritionist, and you are kind of a guru of all things health and wellness. And I'm assuming that a lot of what you do, since you do all these TV segments as well, is in person. So how are you kind of pivoting right now that you can't, see, touch, and feel people? What are you doing to change your business around?
Well, my business, hasn't been affected very much because I guess I was ahead of the times, but every one-on-one client has always been done via FaceTime and texting. I never actually meet with my clients at all.
Oh, wow.
We have like a 1-hour health history, and we talk about what their goals are. I put my 5-day plan together, and everything is done texting. So they have to text every single, I mean, anyone that's on here that's worked with me, they have to text them on the scale, their weight in the morning, and then everything that goes into their mouth. So no matter what it is. And then through the pictures, we alter kind of what the meal looks like. So I say, okay, that's too much chicken, or you need to add more veggies, or that portion is too big. So I guide them through that really on text, and then some phone calls. And then I created my downloadable guides for people to kind of go at, here's like my rule book. So people download this and they can kind of do my plan on their own. So really everything's been done digitally as far as my business. TV, obviously, I miss. There's nothing like the studio and that adrenaline. But luckily, studios have really kind of, you know, morphed the way they do things. And I think media will never be the same. I can't ever picture, I mean, I'm getting, you know, news that we'll never be able to share a meal on set anymore because of the germs. I mean, things are just going to really change. So I've been doing live Skypes into the station, phone calls, and then FaceTime. I've had to learn how, which I'm not good at it because I can see this lighting is like terrible, but I have to do my own lighting and hair and makeup. But what I do like about the change with media is usually I have to memorize the script from beginning to end. And now the script is right in front of me, kind of like my own teleprompter on my computer. So it's kind of taken the stress off, and really, I only have to worry about waist up. So usually
What are you wearing on the bottom? Are you wearing pants right now?
Okay, so I have to give a shout out. I know you did a live with Christina Karen, and I literally got this dress. This is her dress.
It looks so fabulous on you.
Like a week before, I think, the quarantine, she had like her spring launch come out, and I took my daughter right after dance class, and she brought me this dress, and it fit perfect. I have never worn it out because we went into quarantine right after that. But I kind of want to show you.
Please do.
I'm going to stand up here to show you. It has like, and she's modeled this before, but these buttons, so I can make this like long, short. So this is the first time I'm getting to like dress up. I promise. Like, I have not put a dress on since February. Not even in February. It was too cold.
I think I'm sold on it, Christina. Save me one. It looks so good on you. So, Karina, you have kind of like a motto for your method, and it's, I know I'm definitely going to butcher this, but it's high, low, yes, no. Is that right?
Close. I like the yes in there. High, low, lean, no.
Okay.
So it's really easy to learn what those high, low, lean, no's are, and you should look at kind of any snack, any meal, and ask yourself, is this high, low, lean, no? My friends joke, like, is this Karina method approved? But really, we kind of created that acronym because I'm all about keeping things very simple. I feel like people are really confused about nutrition and wellness. There's news coming out every day that some, you know, new diets, you know, the blood type diet and keto and paleo, and you know, you should be eating carbs, you shouldn't, you should be eating high protein. It's just very overwhelming. So I wanted to come back down to basics. You know, I've been doing this a very long time. I've had private practice for 17 years.
Wow.
And the health and wellness questions and weight loss questions that people asked me 17 years ago are the same exact confusing questions people are asking me today. You know, should I have breakfast before I work out? Should I do intermittent fasting? There's just so many questions. So creating High, Low, Lean, No was meant to simplify how you look at food. So I don't want to tell people you can't eat anything fun anymore. I just want to tell them you should be adding in all of these healthy things, which hopefully will then become more of a lifestyle and you'll find new favorites. So high is high water. I talk all day long about drinking water, and I feel like when we're at home now, it's actually harder to remember to drink water because when we're on the go, we're stuffing like our water bottles in our purses and in our cars. So at home, I encourage everyone to drink that high water. We know that is like #1 way for weight loss. It actually is proven to speed up our metabolism.
So it speeds up your metabolism. What else does drinking so much water do?
Keeps you full longer. So I tell my clients to drink water 30 minutes before a meal. And research shows that you will eat almost 20-25% less of that meal if you drink 8 ounces 30 minutes before a meal. So right there, that is the easiest little trick to do versus all these ratios, you know. The other high is high fiber. So I know we all hear how, you know, fiber is so great for us, but thinking things like berries, I make sure that everyone has like 2 cups of berries every single day, a salad a day, and right there you have your fiber. And then high clean carbs. So I'm not afraid of carbs. I love carbs, but I really encourage people to go after those clean carbs like sprouted bread or oats, or even if they're going to have pasta, make it whole wheat. So being smart about the carbs they're eating. So those are the highs.
What about bonza, like the chickpea pastas?
Yeah, I love that. And especially if you're a vegetarian, getting those extra, you know, proteins in, that's great, you know. Then we have the lows, which again, people are really scared and confused about fat. They're very like, well, I don't want too much fat in my diet unless you're doing keto, and then you're eating too much fat, but that's a whole nother live of how I really feel about keto. But the lows are like olive oil, avocado, unsalted nuts and seeds. So really great things that, again, we know are amazing for our body. We're going to talk about beauty. You want to talk about beauty, you have to have those healthy fats for supple skin, for anti-wrinkle. A lot of foods are very, you know, beautifying. So those are the lows. And then the lean is obviously the protein. So I want people to have lots of fish and chicken, no red meat. And if they're vegetarian, they're eating things like the quinoa and the beans and the lentils. And then the no's, which this is when people usually run away and they, you know, no, I don't want to hear
That's, I'm like, what is it going to be?
Obviously, we know sugar is part of the no. It's not great for us. I don't believe in no sugar. I just believe in changing the way we look at sugar. So having dates in your recipe, or honey, or maple syrup versus like cane sugar, because we know all those things are actually immunity boosters. So you're giving yourself good things and kind of removing the bad stuff. But the real big no-no that everyone kind of says, I cannot do that, is no added salt. So anyone that is a chip lover on this kind of gets a little overwhelmed. But we need half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of salt, added salt a day. And the average American gets 4 times that. So that leads to so many illnesses, and it leads to, if we're just talking about weight loss here, it leads to major water retention. So getting rid of salt even for 5 days, just adding salt. Say, I don't want any salt on my meal. It already probably has salt in it. You know, right there is one way to lose that extra water retention. So I encourage things like spices, like add turmeric, add oregano, add pepper, and just keep the salt shaker away. Someone's asking me if I'm really drinking. Yes. Cheers again.
Did they miss the alcoholic drink? We're actually both drinking tequila. What kind of tequila are you drinking, by the way?
I like Patron. I mean, anyone that knows, I'm like terrible at Patron Platinum. Is there such a thing?
Is it the clear one?
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's silver.
I always have someone order for me. Can you tell? I'm just like, yeah.
I'm drinking Casamigos Reposado, and I usually only used to drink like Blanca or silver. But last time I was in Miami, my cousin had, and I was drinking his, and for some reason the Casamigos kind of smells like vanilla. So I started really liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I mean, I really like tequila. The reason I choose tequila is it has no carbs in it, and it doesn't affect your blood sugar level. So, and I happen to like limes a lot, so I just feel like that combination is actually enjoyable if I'm going to have a drink.
Yeah. You know, when I lived in New York City, I used to work out at the flagship David Barton gym, and he was there all the time. So I did a class with him one time, and afterwards I stopped him and I was like, Hey, just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Ariel. By the way, I just wanted to ask you because I was like right out of college drinking, a ton, and I was like, if I'm gonna drink one kind of drink, like what's the best drink for me to have that's not gonna make me gain a ton of weight? And he said, drink tequila soda and don't eat dinner.
Oh, okay. No. So did you take that advice?
I didn't skip the dinner, but I did start drinking more tequila soda.
So like soda water or plain water?
Yeah, like club soda.
Okay. Yeah,
Soda water.
I just want it like plain and clean. It's kind of like my motto for everything that I eat and drink, like the most simplest form of something.
Okay. Somebody that I remember seeing, a friend of mine, must be a mutual friend, Jennifer Warman.
Mm-hmm.
She was talking about your 5-day, I guess, Kickstarter before she went on vacation, and she was raving about it. And one of the things she really spoke about was the salt intake. And that's something that I deal with. I retain so much water, so I definitely need to be more careful about that one.
Well, we need to get rid of all water weight before we can start losing real weight. So a lot of times people will go on a diet, okay? And they'll be, because they're reducing their calories, there'll be an immediate weight loss and they'll be so excited, and then they'll go back to their natural ways again and they'll start adding that salt back in, and that's where the yo-yo dieting starts, And so people don't realize if you can just keep on going a little longer, even because 3 days is a magical number. Anytime we start a new diet and we reduce our calories, we lose weight within that 3 days. We see like a big plummet down, which anyone that's worked with me knows. Like those first 3 days are the hardest, but also exciting. And when you're not working one-on-one with somebody, it's really easy to almost get like cocky and self-sabotage. Okay, I did it for 3 days. Now it's okay if I have a little bit of this. And then you gain weight and you kind of get a little bit deflated and you're like, well, I just worked so hard for the past 3 days. Why am I going to keep it going? And when you have somebody kind of like on, kind of pause a little bit.
And now I see you again.
Then you keep it going for those 5 days, and then it becomes, when you can get to 5 days, we know that then it almost becomes a high of like, keep on going with that healthy diet. And that's when I want people to then take it into more of a lifestyle.
I love that. And I definitely noticed that too. I'll like get to 3 days and I'll be like, I can kind of eat a little bit of what I want because I like feel so much better. And then it just, that's exactly where the yo-yo starts. I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah.
So one of the things that, I've noticed about you right away, and that I have heard about you from friends, including my friend Alexa, is how positive you are, and how upbeat you are, which is something that's so important right now. So I wanted to know what's kind of keeping you positive right now. Is there anything that you've read in the past 24 hours that was positive, something that can kind of shine a little light in everybody's evening tonight?
I think the most positive thing during all of this is kind of keeping connected and checking. You mentioned Alexa. I feel like even checking on people that don't have a family at home and are single, and making sure that they have those friendships still. I've been sending like video messages, like text messages with video of me randomly like throughout the day to my friends, because I think that face-to-face interaction, I'm a very touchy-feely person, and it's hard. Yesterday was actually my birthday.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday.
Thank you. And what was so like eye-opening was how much time people took. People have always known that I love birthdays, and so they've always connected, but yesterday was overwhelming amount, maybe because people are home and they have more time, or maybe people feel really bad that I had a quarantine birthday. But either way, it's that connection that I have seen that so many people have gone above and beyond. When I started sending, even Jen, I sent her a video message just to check on her. She sent me one back, and you can't help but smile when someone sends you like a random video. When else in my life have I ever sent a friend like a video of myself? So I think those little gestures have gone a really long way in keeping just those friendships connected. You know, we are going to come out of this, and I want to know that I've kept up. I know everything going on, whether it be my friend has nothing new going on, at least I know that that's happening in their life. So I think we need more of that. But I'm also old fashioned. I still write like handwritten thank you notes and letters to people. So I think it's about like the true friendship and taking 2 seconds out of your day, which I know is so hard. I mean, I have the 3 kids, I'm homeschooling. Like the last thing I have time for is, you know, spending time on phone calls with my friends, you know, but I can send those like quick videos.
Yeah, that's really sweet. I love that you're doing that. And on the same topic, well, sort of in the same topic, talk a lot about self-care is something that's really big right now because it's important to take care of yourself. And one of the things that I find really interesting about your methods and your guides are rather than using necessarily talking about products, you talk about beauty from the inside out with your eating methods, but also you put together some really cool guides for everything, including different types of masks. So I know that you're going to show us some of your hair masks that you create.
Yeah, so after we created my rule book, then people were like, well, we want to know exactly what foods and recipes you're making and telling your clients to eat. I find that the more people know you, the more they want to know, right? And so we developed, the Karina Method team, this whole recipe guide, okay? And then after that, it seemed that everyone wanted to know about beauty. Okay, what should we be eating for beautiful skin, for beautiful hair? Because seriously, there's no cream you can buy out there that takes the place of healthy foods when it comes to anti-aging. So in my beauty guide, I'm not a do-it-yourself kind of girl, but I found it fascinating once I started researching what the power of food does, not only when you're eating them, you can tell when you meet somebody what their diet is like by just the way they glow. But I was fascinated with topical, putting food actually on you and how that penetrates into our skin just like a cream or a serum. So I do have facials, but today I'm going to talk about hair because I feel like none of us have been to the salon. Our hair has so much damage right now. And so I'm going to teach you guys 3 masks that you can do that really, really work. The first one that I love it's a coconut oil and Manuka honey hair mask, okay?
I tried to buy the Manuka honey today. I bought like all the things, but I couldn't buy Manuka honey.
Okay, so Manuka honey, every time, if you've ever seen me do a recipe video, I talk about it all the time. For when you consume it, it is really antioxidants in a jar. Now, honey already is an immunity booster, but Manuka honey is like tenfold. So if you can find it, it's really something that everyone should have on their pantry. It's very expensive though. We're talking like an investment for Manuka honey. But think of it as not only part of your diet, but also now part of your beauty regimen, okay? So you basically literally just take 2 tablespoons of Manuka honey and then 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, okay? So in a saucepan, you're gonna heat it up and then keep it on low heat until it's really smooth. Let it cool. And then you're literally going to take that bowl into the shower. And when your hair is just a little damp, you're gonna massage it into every piece of your hair. I would say if you have dry hair, then this is really like the most amazing potion to get rid of dry hair. So I put it all on my tips. And you can either wait in the shower for like 10 minutes and do everything else and then rinse it off, or, which I used to do at school drop-offs, I would literally put my hair in a bun with this mixture in it, do the school drop-off, and then come home and rinse it out. So if you can keep it on longer, now we're at home, you can keep it in longer.
What about, is this before or after shampooing?
This is before. So do the mask and then shampoo and condition, and then you're good to go. You can do
you rub it into the scalp
once a week.
Okay. Somebody asked if you should rub it into your scalp.
You definitely can. It's very thick, And so I find that sometimes, unless you're going to like maybe double shampoo, it's hard to get out completely of your scalp. So I just use it on my tips, and it's like brand new hair. It's like you got a little trim. So until we can get to the salon, this is like the next best thing. Plus, we know that coconut oil is amazing for like natural shine. If you feel like your hair is really, really brittle and not growing very well, coconut oil is great for your hair. Ironically, I do not like coconut oil in our diets, which again is a whole other topic. Okay.
I'm like, honey, go get me some Manuka.
I know. We need Manuka in everyone's house. The second one is an apple cider vinegar rinse, which again, I am so pro drinking 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar every morning after my water before I eat any food. This is proven to reduce fat, especially around the middle section. It's been used for thousands of years. So diet-wise, this is something I've been doing since I was like 16-year-old. For your hair, if you really feel like your hair kind of looks dull and stringy and you want to get back that shine, then basically you take 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and 2 tablespoons of filtered water. I put it in a little like spray bottle, and this one you can spray everywhere. So scalp, everything. I see people saying that they do their shot every morning. It's amazing.
So I used to do that, and then my sister gave me a bottle of the apple cider gummies. What do you think about those?
Again, I like anything in its purest form. Gummies are processed. They have to be made into, I think if you can handle taking this shot, you don't have to take it pure like I do. You can put it in a little bit of water. You can put it in your coffee. I feel like it ruins the coffee, but a lot of people put it in their teas. I just do it in the shot, and then I rinse with water because it has a lot of acid in it. So you don't want to hurt the enamel on your teeth.
What if you I get a lot of acid reflux. Is it bad? Is it bad for that?
If you're not used to it, I would say it's a little harsh to begin with. But even though it's high in acid, it's not acidic, if that makes sense. Like it's meant, that's why it's in salad dressings and it's in so many, because it's a great mixture. So if you chase it with water, you're fine.
Okay.
No more than 2 tablespoons.
Okay.
Is a max. So for your hair, you want to spritz it all over damp hair in the shower, wait a few minutes, and then shampoo and condition. And then you get that natural shine that you would get from using like a mask at a salon.
Okay.
Okay. And then the last one is like the easiest. I did a Zoom call about this mask, and I said, like, you know, take this into the shower and break it. But really you would want to break it into a bowl and take that bowl into the shower.
And you're holding an egg, right?
It's just an egg, a raw egg. And people don't think about the raw egg as something that would be great for the hair, but it is proven to stimulate hair growth because it is so high naturally in biotin. So we sometimes, you know, people take biotin vitamins for hair growth. So it's the same kind of idea, but you're getting it in such a pure form. So 1 egg, massage it all through, wait a few minutes, and rinse. Now, some people have asked me, can I do all 3 masks at once? I would separate them out into different times, just because they are for different properties and you don't want buildup in your hair.
Okay.
So these are, again, natural ways. In my beauty guide, I have like natural things for facials too, like cacao, and that Manuka honey is like works wonders on your face too. So these are like just simple things for self-care.
I love it. And I love that it's stuff that you can just kind of find in your pantry. So we're going to start Q&A, if that's okay with you.
Perfect.
So I had people submit questions ahead of time, and I know that some people are asking questions in here too. So we'll get to both if we have time, or as long as you can stay on here. So one of the ones that I got that you spoke about also is intermittent fasting. What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting?
So if anyone followed me even a week ago, I walked people through intermittent fasting. I am so pro. When we had originally written my rule book, we didn't include it in there because it is kind of controversial. It's not for everyone. Not every client I work with would I say we should fast. But I feel like because it has so many health benefits, we did a rendition and we added that in there. The intermittent fasting that I really believe in is called 16-8. And so the idea behind that is tonight we would all stop eating. We would close the kitchen off at 7 p.m. at night. And the only thing that we could consume is just water and like an herbal tea. We would not eat any food until the next day, 16 hours later, which is usually around 11 if you stopped eating at 7. And I walked kind of my Instagram family through it, and I received over 2,000 questions with people just so interested, so moved. So I couldn't believe what I had started, but it is one of the few, when we put ourselves on a diet, we usually, we lose both fat and muscle, which is not great. We always kind of want to retain that muscle so we look long and lean. But with intermittent fasting, we will lose the fat and not lose the muscle, which is so rare to be able to do. And so that's why it is such a phenomenal, you don't need to do it every day. Even if you did it once a week, people reap the benefits. So I am pro, if it's done correctly.
Okay. That's really good to know. Next question was about bloating, best things to do for bloating. And I personally have been waking up really bloated every morning for some reason and not eating very late at night.
Water, water, water. And I know that sounds like a little backwards to drink more water, and it will take a few days to kind of flush out. Obviously, it really depends on what your diet looks like. And sometimes if you're eating raw vegetables as a salad at night, that doesn't work well for a lot of people. I always encourage my clients, if they're going to have a salad, to have it during the day, and then at night everything should be cooked or steamed because it helps us digest better. But then that water needs to be part of that diet.
Okay. And a lot of the questions are kind of similar to the ones in here. So I'm going to start in here since people are asking. What can you do for dark circles around your eyes?
Again, that is water as well. Like, are you hydrated? And then fatty fishes, ironically, like salmon, adding that in 2 to 3 times a week has been shown to help reduce dark circles under the eyes. A lot of doctors will prescribe fish oil, but fish oil is so controversial because it's really unknown if the omega-3s, and omega-3s are really what can help with the supple skin and the reduction of puffiness. We don't know if we process it the same way from a supplement. And so fatty fishes, things like walnuts, anything that has those natural omega-3s in it is what you want to add to your diet.
Okay. Thoughts on coffee and caffeine?
I am pro coffee. I believe that it should be without creamers and sugars, that if you're going to drink coffee, it should be, again, black if you can handle it. Maybe a splash of almond milk, but 2 to 3 cups of caffeine in the morning, and then switching to something like a green tea is perfectly fine. And again, that has been proven as well to speed up our metabolism. So as we're talking about summer, that's on everyone's mind. So it's a natural metabolism boost.
Okay. What about, someone had asked best food for weight training?
That's protein. I mean, if you want to see definition, I did a whole segment on, eat your way to a 6-pack abs, and that 100% starts in the kitchen. You can do a million crunches all day and have a terrible diet, and you will never see definition in that stomach area. So that is eating really clean protein, and then also making sure you're getting enough fiber, because that'll backfire of, causing that bloat and that the digestive issues.
Okay, good to know. How to stay motivated? What about protein drinks?
I'm not like smoothies and stuff like that. I always tell people they should be eating their foods rather than drinking their calories. So
Okay.
if you're trying any sort of weight loss program, I'd much rather you have even, almond butter on sprouted bread with like sliced bananas is the same as like a protein bar or protein shake. You're getting such clean protein, and it actually is more enjoyable than downing a protein drink.
Okay. So you're not a fan of the protein powders or the whey.
I'm not. I think that it's really hard to find a really high quality protein powder. Most of them cause a lot of bloating and have so many calories in them that and I just find them to be very unsatisfying. I've never met a client that truly has made that part of their long-term diet.
Okay.
So I would much rather figure out like 3 different breakfast renditions that they love that give them less calories but so many more nutrients than any sort of protein powder. Someone's asking whey. Same thing, it's that dairy that's really hard to digest. So I just want it in a pure form.
And dairy was something I was going to ask about too, because that's one thing that you did not mention yet.
Yeah, I mean, for my clients to go on this 5 day, we do no dairy. I try to eliminate anything that we know is really hard to digest. They are getting plenty of calcium. So everyone says, what about my calcium? From the vegetables and the smart foods they're eating. So I'm never worried that my clients are not getting enough calcium during the day. I find, when I went to school, the unique thing about my program in New York was we were taught by every doctor around the world that invented their diet method. And the number one question we would ask, besides sugar, what is one thing that should be eliminated from the diet, the American diet? And hands down, every doctor would say, yes, sugar is horrible for our bodies, but dairy's number 2. So that is eye-opening. It is such an inflammatory producer, and we know that inflammation is kind of the cause of a lot of illness and chronic disease. And so when you can think about it that way and think about other ways to get calcium. Now, if you go out and you really are in France and you're eating the most pure cheese and enjoying it, I find that to be really different than it being a staple in your day-to-day life.
I have to agree with you. I was in Paris in January, and I can never figure out if it's the gluten or dairy, but my stomach gets like, it looks like I'm pregnant. I mean, it just pops out of my stomach. When I was there, I didn't get bloated at all, and I was eating like straight cheese and bread the entire time.
They're not adding fillers, and it's just such a pure way that they produce their foods, which is so different than the United States. So we process it different, and it shows. It shows from, how much illness we have versus Europe.
Yeah. How do you stay motivated during quarantine?
I think I've talked a lot about this. Part of what I do with people is I am a little bit of a rah-rah. So when you hear that people say I'm positive, it's all about the rah-rah and that support, but also the tough love. And I think in our lives, I think during the beginning of this quarantine, we wanted comfort. We were very stressed out. There were so many unknowns, and there still are. But at a certain point, you have to take a step back and hold yourself accountable and commit. So, if you want to see change and you want to feel healthy, and I talk a lot about feeling really light in your own skin and not anything to do with a number on the scale, but truly feeling that light feeling, that takes committing to, you can't eat whatever you want and not exercise and try to feel healthy. Or you can't just work out and not eat right and feel healthy. It really encompasses like your mind, body, spirit, everything you're doing. So the first thing I do in the morning with my clients is set that intention. And I feel like when we commit to setting that intention, that reminder every day that our bodies are strong and we want to feel good, and especially as women, we really deserve to feel good and to look in the mirror and to like what we see no matter what our shape or size is. It's about that lightness in our body. And so I just think it involves a little bit of tough love, and we all want immediate gratification, and we want the easiest way for weight loss, and everyone's always asking me, well, how do I do it really fast and quick? I know a 5 days sounds quick, but anyone that has worked with me, it's intense, and it's showing up every day and staying committed. And even when you're enjoying that cheese or those things that maybe aren't on the high, low, lean, no. It's being present and making it part of an experience and being with people versus having that guilt the whole time. So I always say, if you're going to have dessert, make sure you pick like the best cookie in town and enjoy every single bite. Like, don't cheat in the corner over there and then, you know, feel terrible. So it's
Empty
about
calories.
showing up. Yeah. It's just staying committed.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on best alternatives to milk?
I mean, broccoli, spinach, any of your greens have as much calcium. Best alternatives to milk are probably the closest thing, or like there's oat milk, there's hemp milk, there's almond milk. I feel like all of those I kind of classify the same. They are processed, but you can get really healthy, clean versions now, but you just have to realize, you know, and test them out. Like, people immediately started going to oat milk, and then, you know, they feel like they get really bloated afterwards, or some with almond milk. So it's about finding something that, and again, getting the unsweetened version that kind of you feel great when you drink it.
Yeah. And what about best workout for weight loss?
Best workout, you definitely need cardio and weights. So, I mean, the proven weight loss is like the HIIT, you know, where you do the high intensity training. I'm a runner, so I get that high intensity cardio, and then about 2 to 3 times a week I lift weights. So I think we know that once we hit 30, we are exponentially losing muscle mass. And so anything you can be doing in your 20s will affect your 30s and so on. And weightlifting, we know, does speed up our metabolism for up to 3 days. So making that smart combination. So I think it takes a little bit of everything. And I don't think people realize they don't have to be working out for an hour at a time to actually experience the weight loss. I know that 85% of weight loss is food. So any working out you are doing is amazing for your heart rate and for that definition. But right now during quarantine, you don't need that gym. Get a jump rope, you know, order those hand weights and do.
I got those bands that are awesome.
Bands. I mean, there's so many streaming videos right now. So I think, again, those excuses like, I don't have a gym, I lost my personal trainer, you know, do it at home. Get the jump rope. Jump rope is like hands down for your heart rate is like one of the hardest all around workouts for your body. Or jumping jacks, you know?
Yeah. Someone said we are out to pasture. And then what about best foods for anti-aging?
So everything I mentioned on my high, low, lean, no are also beauty foods and anti-aging foods. So again, you want to get berries, blackberries, raspberries, pistachios. We know that pumpkin seeds, pomegranates, kiwi are huge for anti-aging. They're so high in vitamin C.
Kiwi. Okay.
Bell peppers have so much vitamin C as well. So the vitamin C is to protect us against sun damage. And then we want collagen boosting. So we want those fatty fishes. We want bone broth. If anyone on here is adventurous to make bone broth, I have an amazing bone broth recipe on my site. We lose so much collagen, and we know that collagen is when we lose that is when you start seeing the wrinkles. And so our body starts to slow down on how we produce that. So any foods to get that back in is definitely what we want.
Okay. Awesome. Do we have any last questions for Karina? This has been so amazing.
Thank you.
And I feel really, I've been feeling honestly pretty bad about my eating and feeling pretty heavy in my body lately. And so I think that while what you're saying is like, it sounds a little bit strict for the 5 days. I know 5 days is actually hard. But your approach sounds really approachable though. When you think about it, when you break it down, it's really not so complicated. I just think that working with somebody like you is amazing because then it really holds you accountable.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's meant for, you know, I work with people all shapes and sizes, all walks of life, and the 5 day is 5 days out of your whole life. So 5 days to just dedicate to
Sorry, there's
figuring
an
out.
ice cream truck driving by my house.
It's like taunting you. It's like, no, you got to keep on
What about ice
going.
cream?
Karina said
Don't do
no.
the Karina method.
Go away. She said I'm not allowed to eat it.
It's softy.
That's hilarious. It's meant for anybody. I mean, and that's why we created the rule book, because I wanted people to see that it really is something that you can start making those changes, and a little bit goes a long way. I mean, the extra weight that we're all holding, I think everyone has legitimately quarantined.
Yes.
Even, me that knows, I mean, you're just home, so you're snacking more, you're just in your kitchen a lot. And so now with the light at the end of the tunnel that we're actually going to be out and about and seeing people in summer, it is that perfect time to make that commitment and to start making changes, whether it be change your breakfast this week and just do that. And then focus on the dinners that maybe the dinners are too big and you're choosing the wrong things. If you're feeling bloated every day, then you are not eating the right foods. And that just takes taking a step back. And that's why I make my clients take pictures of everything they eat. It's amazing when you get in bed at night and you scroll through even one day of food, which anyone can do this. It is kind of eye-opening, because even if people say, I eat so healthy, well, there is such a thing as too much good health. So how many fats have you eaten during the day? Oh, I had a whole avocado with my avocado toast. And then I had this a salad dressing with a lot of olive oil. And then I had a cup of like various nuts and I mean, it really adds up. So to take that time even for one day, just to ask yourself, maybe this isn't working for me, even if it's healthy. So again, taking that accountability when you can't work one-on-one with someone that literally is on you all day, it's just educating yourself and figuring out what works for you.
Okay. I love it. So thank you so much. This was so informative, and you are so lovely, and I'm so honored that you chose me to have a drink with. Before we go, I just want to know, what can anybody out there watching do to support you in your business right now?
Oh, that's so nice for you to ask. I would just say go to my website, the Karina Method. And even if one person on this live learns something new, I think for me, that's like the point, all of these guides are meant to educate, and they're filled with like 30 videos and printouts. They're meant to be really interactive. Obviously my Instagram, I'm constantly posting new recipes, and, I just feel like people need to pass it on. There's a lot of people still confused about, finding that wellness in their own life. So yeah, go to my website, go to my Instagram, and doing lives like this with lovely people like you, I think is just a wonderful way to like broaden my audience. But it sounds like we have so many mutual friends. So
I know. I'm hoping we can meet in person soon.
I can't wait. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Thank you guys again. I'm Ariel Ginsberg, the host of In the Pit with Peach. This is Karina, founder of the Karina Method. Go and check out her website. Follow her on Instagram. She can help you attain your goals. And hope everyone has an amazing night.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.